Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe, with lessons, in-person and personalized. Instruments including guitars and amps, horns, strings for instruments, and a myriad of music and sound equipment. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe. Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe, with lessons, in person and personalized. Instruments including guitars and amps, horns, strings for instruments, and a myriad of music and sound equipment. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any requests for agenda reorganization?
Yes. Yes, I would like 11B pulled from the consent agenda and to consider separately.
11B pulled from the consent. Yes, separate consideration. Anything else? Nothing for out of closed session. Moving forward, student reports.
It's been a while. Like I said, I apologize for not being here last time, but I'm happy to be back in your guys' presence again. So I just wanted to start off and talk about our Falcon Freaks. We are having our obviously March Madness next month, where we're going to be running 3-on-3 tournaments on the 7th, 8th, 13th, 14th, 20th, and 21st. We already have 27 kids signed up, which is roughly about 19. And the signups really haven't even officially started, so we're hoping those numbers will grow by the end of next week. Pride in Clubs, we have just finished all of our interviews for the winter sports, basketball, wrestling, and sports like that. Just kind of interviewing the varsity athletes and asking them questions, and then posting it to our RVHS ASB Instagram. And then we are hoping to roll into our next segment, which is interviewing the JV teams and kind of asking them like, oh, who do you look up to? Are you continuing to play this sport? And then, just helping them guide and getting their input on, the future generations of River Valley. Our next big thing, which is our next big dance, is Falcochella. It is at the end of March, I believe, and we are working really hard to try to get everything settled as soon as we can. So right now we have all of our food vendors and food trucks have already been secured, as well as our DJ has been booked. Our spirit days and decorations have been planned out, and now we just need to build the decorations. So we're going to spend the first half of March building our decorations and really making it big for the kids. And then we are looking for bands at the moment. And something we wanted to do to kind of spice it up is we have asked a couple of local owners of the old VW buses if they wanted to come out and park their cars because, Falcochella themed. So we thought that would be a cool thing. So we've been contacting them and just waiting for a response. All of our leadership applications are due March 9th. So I don't know if any of you guys are in the middle schools, but 8th graders, if they're interested, you can email Ms. Simmons. And so we're looking for ASB and for regular leadership applications, like I said, March 9th. Something else that is big is going to be our Prom Expo, which is going to be on March 9th. All of the girls did try on their dresses today. And then we wanted to give a big shout out to A&E Bridal over in the Target parking lot because they have sponsored us 16 suits for all of the men participating in Prom Expo, all different colors. And you can we could have kind of picked what we want, the designs, the colors, everything to match up. So that way it's a really good show. We also want to give a special thanks to a bunch of our sponsors: Country Florists, Guys Nails, First Class Tanning, Elegant Bridal, K Studios, Heavenly Beauty Collective, Perfected Beauty by Monica, Beauty X, and Beauty X Natalie. Long list of sponsors for Prom Expo. We also did have our LCAP with Mr. Guzman in our leadership class today. And so we just kind of talked and had a good 20-minute conversation just talking about what we could use that money for River Valley. And he's just kind of getting our input, which I thought was a really good conversation, and all the leadership teachers were pleased as well. My last event that I want to talk to you guys is on February 18th. River Valley Car Club did hold their first car show at the River Valley parking lot. We did, it was a great time. We had over 50 cars enter in just the competition. Over 250 people ended up showing up. We had over $1,500 in raffle prizes from sponsors like John L. Sullivan, Wheeler Chevy, J.L. Raps, Peanut Productions, Yuba City Harley Davidson, Auto Gear Performance in Marysville, Sunrise Motors, and Ivan's Auto Detailing. So it was a really great time. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, you know where to find me. But thank you for your time.
Good evening, members of the school board and audience. I feel like there's only little people today, but it's okay. My name is Evelyn Madrigal, and I'm here today representing Yuba City High School as always. And I'm honored to stand before you today to discuss some exciting updates and events happening within our school community. So today is really going to be short and simple because we all just came back from a restful break and we are prepared for a new week of learning and growth. So I wanted to take a moment to speak about our upcoming Solidarity Week, which will coincide with our annual food fair on March 31st. This is an important time for our school community to come together and celebrate our diversity. During Solidarity Week, we will emphasize the importance of inclusion, acceptance, and understanding. We will engage in activities and discussions that promote empathy and respect for different cultures, identities, and backgrounds. We have a lot of different clubs participating, like Spanish Honor Society. I believe they will be selling tamales and aguas frescas, and they also do a performance in the quad. I believe it's a teacher, and they do baile folklorico, which is it's kind of like a dance with like this really big dress. It's really pretty. And the Gay Straight Alliance will also be participating along with German Club, the Black Student Union, Punjabi Club, and the Sikh Honor Service Society. They will all be participating. I encourage all of you guys to come to our food fair on the 31st. It is on B Street, and it is during our lunch, which is from 12:53 to, I believe, 1:30. So you guys should come. There will be a lot of food from, I think they're selling Taco Bell too, if you guys like Taco Bell. Mac and cheese, all that fun stuff, boba. So yeah, we encourage everyone to participate and support as we celebrate our unity and diversity. And we also have a prom committee meeting tomorrow, I believe. And our theme is Hollywood. So they're working hard on that. And in conclusion, at YC, we urge everyone to embrace the spirit of Solidarity Week and to make the most of this special time. Thank you all for your attention and support. That is all for today.
It's okay. Here's anything. I know that you had asked that 11 meeting. Would you? It's about the CATA conference. Are there any questions you might have for the student members during that time that we'd ask that they stay, or is it just not necessary? No. Okay, it's not necessary, but thank you. All right.
Moving on to staff recognition of the students.
All right. Good evening to our Board of Trustees, staff, and audience members. The board has prioritized time on the agenda to recognize members of the district staff who have engaged in unique or extraordinary acts to educate today's students to succeed in tomorrow's world. And in so doing, personifying the YCUSD mission, which states, our students will be lifelong learners, creative problem solvers, and responsible, ethical, and respectful contributors in a global society. The board has prioritized this time each meeting because recognition shapes a culture of overall excellence by increasing productivity, promoting retention of top performers, and encouraging ongoing improvement. With that, I'd like to pass the lectern off to Principal Reinhardt, who is here this evening to present our one person that we're able to have here this evening with a recognition. We had a couple other staff that were scheduled to be here this evening, but there were some logistical breakdowns, and we've got them postponed to a later date. Also, just want to reassure the board, we have a long list of folks to continue to bring to you as we go through the coming weeks and months. So with that, yeah, he gets the whole evening to himself. All right, Mary, all yours.
Absolutely. We're here. They're all going to be looking at us. This is a great opportunity. You're awesome. Good evening. I'm Mary Reinhardt, the principal at April Lane, and this is Ezequiel Morales, the amazing head custodian. Ezequiel gives his heart and soul to April Lane. He is the rock that supports our vision. He is there to set up assemblies. When students lose a water bottle, he helps search for it. When teachers need something extra, he is the first one to help them assist. He goes above and beyond with a smile and a song. Do you know that you sing and we can hear you? By the way, and we love it. We love it. We have a little first grader who sometimes doesn't want to come to class. He comes to school and he stands in the foyer and he freezes or he cries and he wants to go home. But we have this amazing head custodian who has built a bond with this little guy. And you can tell when he walks into the cafeteria or the foyer, he'll just freeze and he'll do this. And he's pointing to Ezequiel because he has such a special bond with Ezequiel that Ezequiel brings him on in, hangs out with him for 10 or 15 minutes. The bell rings. His classroom is right off of the cafeteria and he walks straight in. It's amazing. Ezequiel has a special bond with many kids on our campus. He is a remarkable role model. He's polite, he's kind, he's respectful. He's just an overall amazing guy. When I put out the form to staff and said, who are we going to nominate for the staff award? There's space for comments as our staff nominates. And I have some of those comments that I want to read to you from other staff members, not just me. They're all good. Ezequiel is pulled in many different directions throughout the day. He's hardworking. He's willing to help no matter what is asked of him. He's friendly. He's polite. He always has a smile on his face. He runs to open doors. He greets everyone with a smile and says good morning and makes April Lane a nice, clean, and friendly place to work. Next comment. Ezequiel always has a smile, drops everything to help us. He responds to our requests right away. He does a great job as head custodian. The cafeteria and the grounds always look amazing. Last comment. It's true. Ezequiel goes above and beyond at any given day. He has had a great deal to deal with. Summer school for several years in a row, cleaning the school the best that he could before school starts in a short amount of time. New furniture coming into classrooms in the middle of the year, new playgrounds, equipment, staff being out sick. He really has been a one-man show at times and hasn't complained once. He always makes people feel welcome, and he is a team player. His joyful spirit is contagious, and I, for one, really appreciate everything he does at April Lane. That's true.
Thank you.
Ezequiel treats people and the school like it's his home. He gives it an extra sparkle, the extra shine that we are all proud of at April Lane, and it sparkles and shines because of Ezequiel's special touch. Thank you, Ezequiel, for being such a special someone to us all.
Thank you.
Thank you. The board, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Can I get a picture of all of you?
Yes.
Lindsay, come on, Lindsay.
No.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you, awesome job.
And Ezequiel, who did you bring with you this evening?
It's my son Julian and my wife Elsa.
Nice meeting everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you, everyone.
I also attended April Lane when he was a custodian. I could be a testimony that every single one of those testimonies are very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That was awesome. Second to shuffle.
Please don't go down the stairs. Please don't.
If you're listening. Okay. Well, here's the fun today.
I've worked in charge.
Bye, guys.
Moving forward, there's no comments from the public on items not on the agenda. Moving on to the consent agenda with the exception of item 11B, because I have a motion to approve and consent agenda. On a motion by member Damian, second by member Core to approve consent agenda items without 11B. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, member Pretty is absent. 11B, is there a question or concern? City Boys?
Okay, yes, so we get these consent quite frequently on overnight trips, right? And this one, most of them are pretty self-explanatory and understood. This one, CATA Summer Leadership Camp. My only question and concern was that being asked to approve it when I went on the CATA website with regards to Summer Leadership Camp, there isn't an agenda. There are not any, with regards to the specific agenda. It's like, here's the day, 9 o'clock, we're going to do a breakout. And then there'll be keynote speakers. There are no keynote speakers. There's no specific agenda topic items. And it's in July. So to rubber stamp it, it personally would feel a little irresponsible when we don't know exactly what the information about the leadership. I'm sure it's great. So my proposal is merely, unless you have information much more detailed than online, then my proposal is to vote on this as contingent upon a final actual schedule with keynote speakers and subject matters and topic and that sort of thing. So we know what we're approving these kids to go to. That's all.
Okay, I don't have with me, I know that CATA is a great opportunity for kids. They put on an amazing program every year. The exact specifics of who's going to be speaking this year, I don't know. We do have time to, since it is in July, to bring it back. I don't know when the exact information will be ready. There is a lot of planning and preparation that goes into sending kids. So holding it up for that does present something of a challenge to the school side, in the interest of getting their travel preparations done. But if we need to postpone it and bring back with more details, then I'll see what I can do. I don't know exactly when that will be released, but I'll see what I can provide.
I'm comfortable approving. I don't really think it would matter who the speakers would be. To me personally, I can't. It's a reputable program that's been approved in the past. It's the recommendation of staff, students, it seems. So I don't really think it's of relevance. So I don't know if anyone else does.
I agree with Kirsten. I mean, I think they should have that information, and if they don't have it, why should you put something that you have no idea what those kids are going into?
And I think we do have an idea. I think it's a leadership conference. So.
No, I get you. I know I've seen them, but I get her point. If you're making this big, huge program and leadership conference for these kids, you know your agenda and you know what's going on and what speakers are doing.
Which is why my proposal was not to deny.
Just have
That
more
was not
information.
the proposal. What I'm motioning is I motion to accept and then with the contingency that the final, I'm sure I'm not saying this right, but if it is a reputable program, and I believe you, then they will have that. They're not going the week before going, hey, can you talk about leadership, please? I mean, they're already talking to people. I'm just saying the onus is on us as to approve these, and generally it's pretty it's all that sort of thing. And I get it, it's about leadership. It's just that I want to be responsible.
Instead of putting contingencies, would it just be, would it suffice to just bring this back when there's an agenda, provided that there's plenty of lead time? Table it and just bring it back as opposed to putting contingencies on it.
Are you tabling the item?
Yeah.
That's what I understand.
It's the understanding that planning involved. And I guess at the end of the day, what would this, knowing the speaker change? Is there a speaker that would incline you to say no?
Well, as far as so these are minors, right? Going to a leadership conference, right? And that, so we are responsible, and if we are also standing behind it, I just want to know that we are sending them, and the list of topics are nothing that would cause us to blush or be ashamed. That's all. And I think if we're being asked to approve these overnight events and that sort of thing, that we're not just rubber stamping it. We're taking it seriously. Like, okay, yes, this is something that I can get behind as a board member to send minors to, and that they'll be sitting in this. And I'm like, again, I'm sure it is all that you say it is, but we should have the information right with regards to the subject matter.
And at the end of the day, you have an opinion, right? And what comes on the agenda, you may not agree with, so that may skew your vote in one way, one direction or the other, and it may not do that for the others. But I hear you, and I mean, I don't really big deal as tabling it. To be honest with you, I don't think.
It sounds like there's planning involved, so if anyone's planning.
So then the question is it going to material damage the travel plans of the schools to table it for 30 days? So you're talking end of March, the conference is mid-July.
So you could bring it back on March 14th, and which would be the next board meeting.
Right.
Do you see a problem with that, Pam?
I don't, there's no problem with it at all if the information that's available at that time.
Do you have an agenda of maybe the previous one? Or do we have any of that? Is that
We
accessible?
could provide agendas from a previous one, so.
Yeah,
Maybe there's an archive or something?
and that's where the kids have gone for years, and I think the topics are about, and I don't know the lunch terminology, but I do think what I'm hearing is some more specificity. I think we can reach out to Canada to find out when they anticipate the agenda will be out.
Yeah.
And let you all know, like kind of the timelines, and then also in terms of registration, is it filling out those kinds of things. So how long can we delay it before the kids have to get registered?
Right. I just want to do our due diligence as members, just so.
When we send kids to like a tennis tournament, we don't need a list of the coaches that are going to be there. It's like, I don't get where the line's being drawn. If that's your opinion, it's the opinion of the majority of the board, that'll be the case. I think it's beyond our role. I think it's beyond our due diligence.
Well, I totally see where you're coming from, Nicola, because like I said, like we've done this for weeks now. Some of you for a lot longer. And it is quite clear if it's tennis tournament, they're playing tennis, or if it's a band in that's marching in Disneyland. And so I have never asked for an agenda, a more specific one. But when you have something as broad as, quite frankly, leadership, it isn't, we're going to be playing tennis and brackets and see who the best person is and winning, and leadership does have a very broad messaging. And I just want to do my due diligence. So, and I feel like if CATA has the organization that they do, they would be able to provide, even in sketch form, like these are the topics, these are the main speakers at this point, March, and it's in July, an organization like that. I feel like asking them for that is not typical, is reasonable. Thank you for that.
I'm okay with bringing it.
So I heard a motion from Kirsten to accept the recommendation with contingency to bring back a more final agenda. Was that what I heard?
Possibly, but my motion is to table it.
Oh, no, it's, so you had an initial motion to accept.
That I strike.
Okay.
Let the record show. The motion is stricken. I would like to make a motion to table this until the next board meeting.
A motion by member Lamb and a second, on a motion by member Ciociola and a second by member Lamb to table the motion. Can you take a roll call vote, Laura?
Yes. Member Ciociola?
Yes.
Member Domi,
Yes.
member Core,
Sunshine, yes.
member Lamb,
Yes.
member Quilty,
Yes.
member Roscoe.
No. All right. Moving on from the consent agenda, action 12A student cases.
I make a motion that we approve as discussed in closed session.
I'll second the motion.
On a motion by member Domi and a second by member Colby to approve as discussed in closed session. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Member Brady is still absent. Her flight didn't get back in 5 minutes. Full B, non-reelection of probationary certificate employees.
I was gonna make a motion that we approve as discussed, with the, is the change reflected on here? I'm sorry.
There is an adjustment to the board resolution for personnel. There's an added resignation, and on the resolution for non-reelection, there is a deletion of a employee number.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve as Mr. Reed stated.
Second.
For time.
Yes.
Alright. On a motion by member Domi and a second by member Colby, and this one will be a roll call vote.
Member Ciociola,
Yes.
member Domi,
Yes.
member Core,
Yes.
member Lamb,
Yes.
member Quilty,
Yes.
member Roscoe, President
Yes.
Roscoe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving forward to 12C, the Sunshine to YCTA for the 23-24 negotiations.
So government code does require that the district sunshine any proposals that would be made, in this case to our Yuba City Teachers Association. And this proposal is to open discussions mainly around salaries, health benefits for the 23-24 school year.
Any questions? I have a motion to accept the Sunshine.
So. Second.
On a motion by member Domi and a second by member Lamb to accept the Sunshine. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Moving on to board reports, committee reports. Very minutes of the government. We reported out the government liaison. No other committees have met, correct? Correct. All right. Written communications from the public, we have none, correct? All right. Comments from employee representative. You don't get the Russian vote, Mercedes.
Won't have to debate who's going first. Good evening, board members. Anybody out there, staff? I'm Dee Lukens, president of the Yuba City Teachers Association. Tomorrow is March 1st. March 1st is by contract our deadline for teachers to submit their retirement for early retirement benefits. So tomorrow we may see more folks submit their retirements, but this evening you accepted the retirements of two people I'd like to highlight. One of whom is Janet Ari. Janet Ari and I started teaching at AK together in 1990. Janet started as a 6th grade teacher, teaching with Dan DiAgostini, who is forever famous as our garden. The garden he started at AK, and then Dan was actually one of the originals at AK, and then Dan moved out to Berry School with his garden skills. So Dan and Janet were partners in that first year, and we were all together. Janet taught in a long portable, it was like a double wide trailer. So it was an interesting challenge to teach that long portable. Janet did it with all the skill of a flexible educators that we are. Janet then moved up to 8th grade where she taught social science. Janet and I are East Coast folks. I'm from New York and Janet from Boston. So we share that East Coast affiliation, and Janet's Boston roots give her the ability to bring social science to life. Janet Ari teaches U.S. history. So it's always fun to listen to Janet Ari talk about U.S. history. My own children had Janet Ari when they were in 8th grade. And I can say they remember her fondly and really enjoyed her classes. Janet has continued to love teaching middle school students. And I got to tell you, continuing to love teaching middle school students is a true gift. Then I will move on to Sheree Filia. Sheree taught at Bridge Street in 5th grade. Sheree brought all the skills to deal with our students of greatest need. She was a leader at Bridge Street in 5th grade, a mentor among her peers. She was a leader on the PAR, Peer Assistance and Review panel. And then during the pandemic, Sheree moved to YCIA. Sheree was the YCIA K-5 teacher this last year. And if I remember right, the year before that, she taught just 2 of the grade levels. It was challenging to teach at YCIA, especially in this last year, to be one teacher teaching 6 grade levels. But Sheree took on the challenge, spent a lot of extra time to build the program that is in place at YCIA for our K-5 students. Janet and Sheree represent decades of educator experience, and I wish them well in their retirement. And then finally, the next day, March 2nd, is our date for negotiations. So you've already heard from us. I look forward to further discussion and progress in negotiations. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you. No Mercedes. Comments from board members?
I have a comment. Actually, I have a request. Eddie highlighted quite a few of the sponsors, and I know that we have sponsors for all different types of things. The Have a Heart for Kids, we have a ton of sponsors for that too. Is it possible, if it's a direction of the board, to, and maybe you guys already do this, but maybe provide them with like a certificate of like appreciation on behalf of the board or something to recognize them and their continued support? Is that something that we do, and or if the board thinks that it's okay, is that something that could be done?
So we've done a number of things that were the district in terms of recognizing our volunteers and our sponsors. So we've done things as putting notification in the newspaper. We've sent out notices. So really the direction of the board is in terms of recognizing our volunteers and our sponsors. Because there's been different iterations. Or would you like us to maybe put that in expectations regarding how we might recognize them?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Any other comments?
I have a clarifying question. I was looking through the Friday letter, and it says on 3/2 there's a new board member training. Just confirming that is still happening. Right? Mm-hmm.
See you then.
Thursday.
I know. Oh yeah, because February is short. I was like, yeah. Tomorrow's March. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's what's been
There's 2 more days.
Yeah. Okay.
I know I signed up for that, but
Wow, you're not getting your deposit back. Any other comments from board members?
One question, do the students send out thank you letters for sponsorships and stuff like that from leadership? I think they just kind of do like a postcard.
Yeah, they do.
They do postcards with their leadership and thanking them. They used to do that. I don't know if they still, which personally, if I'm getting something I want from the kids and not us personally, I would want to hear a thank you from, and it's good for the kids to appreciate our students. But I believe that they do that. Just saying.
Yes.
I mean, I know that RV they did, so I don't know about anyway, something that is always nice. Oh, and I also have one more request that has come up a couple of times. I know we're in person, but we're kind of sort of in Zoom land too. I've had a few people say, or even Shelly has brought up, that it's hard to be able to hear on the other end. So if we're not already working on maybe a way to amplify.
Yes, and the
Our volume.
microphones are on order, and with the COVID thing, the technology was delayed, but the microphones have been ordered. I was just thinking the same thing, so I was gonna check it with Scott to have check with
I saw Dio Audio.
Yes.
I think last agenda was that this audio. Yeah, we did.
It's been ordered, right.
Last board meeting, I think it was.
They're working on the microphones.
Thank you. I commented last time, I believe, about having visited Shady Creek. I don't think I mentioned it, but some folks have brought it up to me, and I do think it's a good idea. I don't know where else it may have been brought up, but just looking at how we incentivize the students who volunteer a week of their time to be a counselor at Shady Creek. So I thought that was an interesting conversation. I don't know if staff has ever reflected. People were asking me about the potential to award elective credits. I know that's how some other areas have done it. I don't know if that's at all. I don't know.
So the student,
the student leaders, yes, they are giving them a week of their time to kind of work up there in a way. I do know some of them get like a bit of a work credit, like volunteering in the kitchen. So I don't know, just making sure we're attracting the best student leaders we can. I would advocate for that. That's all I have. Yeah, just a random one. Rocket. Okay. Comments from the superintendent.
I'm just gonna remind you that
Parjo did.
Thursday.
Yeah. Parjo's on top of it. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Doreen, can I just, in your Friday letter this week, we will be sharing that on March 9th, a few of our early college soon-to-be graduates will be attending the Yuba College board meeting. And you might, if you're interested, you might want to attend. We'll provide all that information. They will also be coming to invite you formally in at your April or May board meeting to their Yuba College graduation on May 26th. But I wanted to let you know that they're going to be doing that at the Yuba College board meeting March 9th, in case you wanted to participate. And the information about that will be in the Friday letter from Med Services.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hearing no other comments, March 14th is our next regular board meeting. Of course, there's this study session, new board member training on Thursday. May I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, you're right. Thank you for the reminder. We're going to reconvene in a second.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe, with lessons in person and personalized. Instruments including guitars and amps, horns, strings for instruments, and a myriad of music and sound equipment. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe.